Hey guys, we're the Hard Time Strongman podcast, training up a bear class of man. And today we have a special episode for you because we're talking about napalm, thermite, and plastic explosives. Today's reference.
I see.
Let's just, like we said we talked to Chris from Grant Raffle Group last time. Let's just speedrun getting canceled. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
live a little.
You know what? I've already punched my express ticket into the great beyond. Prepped. I'm not going up. I'm going down with some of the stuff that I've said. So let's do it with this too.
You know what? If you guys that are listening aren't already on a watch list, we want to fix that. We're here to support you and equip you guys. So that being said, our reference for today, TM31-210, and I went on, I don't know, Wikipedia and Google. I trust you guys to be able to, do a little bit of researching. If anything that we say here is not factually correct,
please check us.
I'd love to know.
And TM31-210 is the Improvised Munitions Handbook. You can pick it up at pretty much every surplus store or Amazon. Or
any of the pro goon gun tuber Instagram pages. I'm sure they sell those too. So
and as a disclaimer, all of this stuff is publicly available. Nothing we're going to tell you is classified.
These are not the ancient texts. This is not forbidden knowledge.
This is readily available. We're not going to give you the exact ratios. Never mind, we are going to give you the exact ratios. I just looked through the show notes.
Don't tell me what to do. No, because you can Google it. I don't feel bad. Look, I don't feel bad because you can Google all this. And honestly, in my humble opinion, I think everyone should know how to do this because this is ranch hand stuff. Honestly,
that's fair.
How I look at it. You know what I would have loved to do instead of freaking going there with my chainsaw, hacksaw, and a shovel and try to dig out all these freaking tree stumps when I was a kid. I would have loved to just throw on a freaking gallon of thermite and call it a day. But
thermite is a great way to
I didn't know how to make it.
Use things together.
Or dissolve them forever.
Or dissolve them, yeah.
Where they'll never come back. Any hoozle. Let's do this. Let's get into it. So napalm. Napalm is an incendiary mixture of a gelling and petrochemical agent. So history. Originally, officially, napalm was first developed by the U.S. Chemical Warfare Service in 1942. It would be used in extensive firebombing campaigns, along with infantry flamethrowers. I was trying to say flamethrowing infantry. I don't know where I was going with that. The dudes that were heavily targeted because holy crap, war crimes. In World War II.
Isn't this against the Geneva Convention to use this stuff?
For personnel, against personnel, it is against the Geneva Convention.
Sorry, hang on. I misspoke. The Geneva Suggestions, because we didn't sign that shit.
I was going to say, what do you think? I am a nerd. World War II, later seen in the First Indochina War, Algerian War, Korean War, Six-Day War, and the Vietnam War. God, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It is put to great effect when honestly just clearing anything that's alive, vegetation wise. So freaking fire for effect, just all those close air support missions, clearing out buildings, bunkers, trenches. Hello, Russia-Ukraine war, and other occupied spaces.
Probably don't surf.
Charlie goes, I thought you were going to say napalm sticks to kids because it does. It's extremely effective against personnel.
It is terrifying.
We talked about this a couple times on the show. Whenever I talk about napalm, it is literally like hellfire. It is terrifying stuff. And we like to spice things up and we like to make light of things, keep the conversation rolling. This is like a literal war crime. This is the bad stuff because this is an extremely sticky, extremely adhesive, adherent, substance. The fire that this makes
rises.
The fire rises. It's insanely hot. It's ungodly hot. And so not only, the risk of burning to death, right, but asphyxiation, so all those chemical reactions to like, sucking in all that oxygen, making a firestorm, like this is a real freaking thing. Okay. And so like if you're stuck in a tank and you're like, oh man, I'll be fine. No, you're just going to get cooked.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that is a sardine
bad.
can.
Yeah, this is bad stuff. But no, I mean, in Nam, they would just like, oh man, we don't want that forest there. And then it wasn't.
Oh, later on they would use the what was that, the daisy cutter, that bomb that just like detonated at about 6 foot high and just wiped out everything. Good Lord. Oh
yeah, but I mean, talk about like area denial.
Oh yeah.
Tell you what, if I don't want you somewhere, I'm just gonna lace the whole freaking place with napalm. It's gonna burn forever. And then as your buddies are driving through or walking through it, as you go past that first layer of carbon, it's going to freaking ignite again. Like, it's scary stuff, dude.
Bad stuff. You tested this.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and this is just like a stupid civilian version, man. Like, think about like the real deal stuff that we were using.
Oh, yeah.
That's some nasty business. Not to mention, like, reading through just different World War II accounts, different Vietnam accounts. Guys that would respond to these casualties if people got hit by napalm, like they'd go to grab let them get them out. They'd go to like grab a leg and their hand would go straight through and they'd grab bone that was burned, like,
or they grab and liquefies, like, without going all the way down. It just sloughs off.
Yeah,
like
it was just like you'd
muscle,
you'd like
tendon.
pull a leg off just like nothing. It was just like like literally like meat off the bone in a pressure cooker or a slow burner. Like, it's
yeah. Oh my God.
Stuff.
Just picture the best like brisket you've ever tasted, and you don't even need a knife and fork. You just like literally just breathe on it and it falls apart. That is what we're talking about, folks.
Yeah,
that's a person's arm. That's a leg. That's a chest. Like, that's what it looked like.
Terrible stuff. That being said, how to make it. So, gelling agent. So your gelling agent, that's what's going to give it structure. That's what is going to be dissolving to make it sticky, to just give it form and, the function, right? So more often than not, civilian side, you're using styrofoam.
Yep. Readily available.
Find it anywhere, use a cheese grater. We saw in the beginning, right before everything started to kick off in Ukraine, saw those ladies.
Oh yeah.
Styrofoam with a cheese grater and
cheese grater. Yep.
Into beer bottles. Yeah. So also our good buddy Critter 1371 on Instagram, he
shout out,
suggested ivory soap, which I've yet to use, but I can see exactly where he's coming with that. That makes a lot of sense to me. Just using like maybe a cheese grater. Well, yeah, probably a cheese grater, like on the really like thin, like, thin setting. That would be actually wonderful for the purpose. So I can see where he's going with that. The petrochemical, so gasoline, diesel. Kerr also mentioned you can throw in motor oil to make it burn longer, which is a scary thought because it already burns for forever.
Oh, man.
And when you're mixing this, it's not all going to, like, it's not like the styrofoam is going to expand and fill the entire container and, like all the gasoline is going to be gone. You're going to have gasoline left over. You're going to have to, whenever you're done with it, because you're trying to break down the styrofoam because you don't want in like its structured form. You want to break it down into the small bits where it's, that fluffy nonsense that gets everywhere. And then you're going to pour your gasoline, mix it all up. Obviously I wouldn't touch it. Yay. Or try to breathe it in. Yay. But you mix everything out. It's going to just make this blob of death. And then that's your napalm. You're going to have leftover standing gasoline around. You can reuse that, for more napalm, but that's what you got. Throw that in a freaking bottle, throw on, tape on some stormproof matches and have a party,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Thermite. Thermite is a pyrotechnic composition of aluminum powder and iron oxide powder known for its just stupid extreme heat and its ability to melt through an engine block like a blink of an eye.
With no trouble. Like a hot knife through already like mostly melted butter.
It's often used, like I said, for destroying equipment, welding train tracks, or pretty much any other task that calls for just a stupid extreme amount of heat.
So I've seen videos of Thermite guys that made that, that have just cut through inches of steel,
Yeah.
through the steel, underwater, through a cement block, and then down through the ground.
Yeah. It's still
Like
burning
Thermite
right
doesn't
now.
it doesn't care about water. It'll just do whatever the
No,
hell it wants to do. But like this is bad stuff.
it's awesome. It's
Super cool.
terrifying, but it's awesome.
And this is what I'm
Like,
talking about. So like the efficacy. So like, yeah, if you need to clear brush, if you need to, kill tyrants or like clear out a building, yeah, napalm's your guy. But Thermite is so it's like a Swiss Army knife.
it
Because
is.
once you get the mixture down and you're not like blowing yourself up, like if you need to do like minor cuts through metal, if you need to, I don't ever see why I need to, weld train tracks together. But I mean, if you get to where you're playing with the stuff a lot, it has a lot of motility.
Well, the beauty of it is too, not only can it weld train tracks together, but you set off one of these son of a is right on top of some train tracks, it's gonna cut them apart too. This
Yep.
thing is an acetylene torch. This is a welder's torch in like the craziest fashion. Without a doubt, this thing is terrifying, and I love it, and I really want to make some. And in fact, I know how to. So the mixture here we're looking at is a 1-to-3 mixture of aluminum powder and iron oxide powder. You can get these, disclaimer, you can get these raw materials on Amazon. Another disclaimer, if you're going to use iron oxide, spread it out on a baking sheet and throw it in the oven and bake that sucker high heat because you want the moisture out of it. You want
For
the
like an
moisture
hour.
out of the iron oxide. Yes. And
Yeah.
then you can use it. So also,
So
if you're
fun
going to use a
fact,
wick on
aluminum
it,
powder, you can find that in an Etch-a-Sketch.
yeah, iron oxide you can
And
find, oh, I don't know, on any piece of freaking steel that you've left out
I
for
was
too
going to
long.
say, iron oxide is just rust.
Yeah, it's rust. We're talking about rust. If you can get a sheer amount of rust, just gather it all up, put it on a cookie sheet, baking sheet, and bake the water out of it. But if you're going to use a fuse, best case is to get a magnesium strip and use that.
Well, it burns extremely hot.
Yes.
You need a significant amount of heat in order to, light this after you've mixed it.
Yes.
But Thermite is a super easy way to do that. There is a chemical reaction, which I am not privy to, but our chemists out there, can probably figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And did you say the mix ratio?
Yeah, the mixture ratio is a 1-to-3. So 1 part aluminum powder and 3 parts iron oxide. And we recommend magnesium strips as the fuse.
Yes.
You can put it in pretty much anything, but just keep in mind that once that thing lights, it is extremely hot and it's going to use gravity and go straight down.
So when you're storing this, so something like a clay pot, something that's used to extreme heat, would be best to actually store this in short term. I wouldn't recommend storing this long term, but
right. I mean, if you are going to store it long term, I would definitely recommend using a probably steel container, insulated steel container that's airtight.
Get some of the antioxygen, like the storage packets or little discs.
Yeah.
And plastic explosives. So this one is officially from TM31-210. And here's a quote from it. A plastic explosive filler can be made from potassium chlorate and petroleum jelly. The explosive can be detonated with a commercial number 8 or any military blasting cap. We will let you figure out where to source a blasting cap or commercial number 8. However, potassium chlorate, easiest way that I have seen to source this besides buying it outright is just from typical, common household matches. So to do this, you're going to need to harvest that match head, right? Break it down into a powder, and then throw the whole thing in some water. Let it, stir it, let it dissolve, and then filter out everything that rises to the top that is not your potassium chlorite. Then cool it. In that cooling, in that cooling stage, as it starts to go from extremely hot to extremely cold, that potassium chlorite is going to crystallize. You also throw in some acetate to try to get rid of some of the coloring. That's not entirely needed, but that makes it for a more pure result, more pure yield. Then procedure for actually getting your mixture, your plastic explosive mixture. You're going to spread out your potassium chlorate crystals thinly on a hard surface with a rod, a stick, what have you. You're going to roll that over those crystals, crush them into a very, very fine powder. Think like face powder or like flour. And then you're going to mix 9 parts of that powdered potassium chloride and 1 part of petroleum jelly, which is just Vaseline. In a wide bowl or container. You're going to mix them by hand, knead it like dough until it's a uniform paste. Yay. You have spicy Play-Doh.
Yay. So also, disclaimer, potassium chlorate is a very common ingredient in potash. Potash is a fertilizer. Use that knowledge as you will.
And we also don't need to tell you about all the wonderful uses for, plastic explosive. But
correct.
We think that you should know. So there you go. Guys, we hope you enjoyed the episode. I know it was a short one, but I think you can appreciate the, what would you say? The compressed amount of knowledge, the thickness of this episode. Were you presenting? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you sure can. Just buy it. Just like that.
At the grocery store.
The grocery store. I love this place.
As a salt alternative. Get out of here.
Golly. Check HEB.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think of that.
So happy.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Oh, well, guys,
I love it.
That's all we have. That's all we have for this episode. I know it was a short one, but I think we can appreciate the content that we gave you today. So until next time, we're the Hard Time Strongman Podcast. Jacob Barbera, class of man. Stay in the fight.
Stay in the fight.
Hey everybody, this is 6 and 7 with the Hard Time Strongman Podcast. We are coming to talk to you about our Patreon and Discord.
Hey guys, our patrons get early access to all of our episodes. They get all of our exclusive pre and post shows, all of our spicy takes, all of our rabbit holes that we go on, everything that we want to include in an episode, but we can't because we need to stay on topic. And soon enough, we will be offering digital downloads, guides, everything that we've been working on in the background will soon be available to our patrons. So make sure to check it out.
And come hang out with us on Discord. Speaking of the spicy stuff, this is where we discuss most of it. Once you're there, you will get access to all of our in-depth discussions, including stuff like homesteading, fieldcraft, medical, camping, communications, shooting. You like ARs? Come talk to us about it. You like 4x4 vehicles and prepping? Come talk to us about it.
You like Tannerite, Thermite, Napalm? Come talk to us about it. All of the campfire talks that would get us kicked off of other platforms, it's right there in our Discord. Come join our community.
We're active on Discord every day. We're interacting with members constantly. We have guys from every walks of life coming to contribute their expertise to all of these various fields and subjects that we've been talking about.
Come join the Discord. Come join the Discord. Join our community. Build up that better class of man. wanted to take a second to do a mental health check-in and to tell you all about the 988 Crisis Lifeline. So the 988 Lifeline is a national network of local crisis centers that provides free and confidential emotional support to people in suicidal crisis or emotional distress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the United States. You can reach the Lifeline at 988lifeline.org, or you can call or text 988 to get help, to get someone real on the phone.
Every struggle is different. Every struggle is hard. But you are not alone in whatever you're going through. As someone who has used the 988 crisis line, I fully recommend that if you're feeling any of those feelings of depression, suicide, hopelessness, get in touch with them immediately. They will help you. They will listen to you.
Once again, guys, you can reach the Lifeline at 988lifeline.org, or you can call or text them at 988. As always, guys, stay in the fight.
Stay in the fight.